Hello everyone, this is 15% off Applebee's gift card, and I thought I would just make a video showing the new Black Mesa mod called Blue Shift. It's made by HECU Collective, and their goal is to create the Black Mesa expansion, or not Black Mesa, the Blue Shift expansion to Half-Life 1 in the Black Mesa engine. So they've just released this on Steam. I'm pretty sure it came out today. The Steam page says it was posted on the 14th, but I'm in their Discord because obviously, and I'm pretty sure they said it came out on the 16th, so maybe it was made public on the 16th. I will put the Steam store page in the description, or actually the workshop page. You will need Black Mesa to play this, and I don't know, the screenshots look good. Obviously you're seeing the main menu right now, so I'm gonna shut up and let's take a look.
Good morning, and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel. The time is 8:42 a.m. Current topside temperature is 91 degrees, with an estimated high of 105. Black Mesa compound is maintained at a pleasant 68 degrees at all times. This train is inbound from Area 8 topside dormitories to the Central Transit Hub in Area 9. Inside the train at all times. Do not attempt to open the doors until the train has come to a complete halt at the station platform. In the event of an emergency, passengers are to remain seated and await further instruction. If it is necessary to exit the train, disabled passengers should be evacuated first. Please stay away from the electrified rails and proceed to an emergency station until assistance arrives.
It's about damn time. Oh yeah, before I forget, me and the boys are thinking about some poker. I'll keep you posted. See you soon.
Is a high-security area beyond Sector C. You will need to board a high-security train in the Central Transit Hub at the Area 9 security checkpoint. If If you have not yet submitted your identity for the retinal clearance system, you must report to Black Mesa personnel for processing before you will be admitted to the high security branch of the transit system. If you wish to transfer to Sector B or C medium security lines, you may do so before you reach Central Transit Hub at the Area 9 security checkpoint. Access to the medium security branch of the transit system is for employees of the Black Mesa Research Facility and authorized visitors only.
Wasn't the tram ride a little longer today?
More or less.
Goodness. I'm certainly looking forward to the end of today, aren't you?
Ah, absolutely.
Yes, that smell.
Hell if I know.
As if I haven't already taken enough crap today.
Hey, Calhoun. Looks like you're in for a long day today. Have a good one, Calhoun.
This train is now transferring to Sector C line of the transit system. This is a medium security area of the Black Mesa Research Facility.
Sorry, man. System crashes, terminal failures. It's a wonder this whole place hasn't gone up in flames yet. Now arriving at Area 3 security facilities. Please stand back from the automated door until it is fully opened. Before exiting the train, be sure to check your area for personal belongings. Thank you, and have a safe and productive day.
Alright, so that was Black Mesa Blue Shift by, what's their name again? HECU Collective. So I was taking a few notes during the chapter because that's what I do. You may have noticed that there were pauses when I wasn't looking around for 20 seconds or so. That's when I was writing things down. So I'm really impressed, and I am really looking forward to seeing this mod finished. I'm hopeful that this mod is finished. It is some sort of a I don't know if it's definitely not exclusive to Half-Life, but if you go on ModDB, there are tons and tons of unfinished Half-Life mods. And it can actually be a little depressing because so many of them looked promising. Or like they got a beta build out that was good, but it was buggy and it was never followed up on. So that's always a concern with these mods. But one thing that HECU Collective has done is that they've actually given you something to mess with. Whereas many of the other mods that are stuck in hiatus have no files listed. Not even a, here's what we have so far. It's pretty broken, but you can at least see that we tried to make something. This has, obviously there's really no gameplay. It's just sitting in the tram. You get to look around the tram, and I'm sure there were lots of details that I missed. I thought there was some really creative use of the environment built in the first chapter of Blue Shift, as well as the next chapter. I think it was called Insecurity, where you're running around the facility before the disaster. So you may have noticed before the tram stopped and he would have gotten off, it broke down and you could hear the person in the background saying, "System crashes, malfunctions, it's a wonder this place hasn't gone up in flames yet." And that's very similar to one of the first lines of dialogue you actually hear while talking to someone. In the original, when you get off the tram and try to go inside, the door is stuck. And when you finally get inside, the guard says a line very similar to that, except it's a wonder this whole place hasn't... I think it's a wonder this whole place hasn't been shut down yet. So it's not quite as foreshadowing as this place going up in flames. So it's not exactly authentic because it is deviating from the canon. But I don't know if you can even consider the Black Mesa mod to be canon, because there's a lot of assumptions that have been made to add in more details. And I think, for the most part, all of their assumptions have been very good. The intro for Blue Shift, the one we just watched, it wasn't exactly the same as the tram ride I remember it. I haven't played Blue Shift as many times as I've played the original Half-Life, so I don't remember the Blue Shift tram ride in and out. But I did see the fast food complex where people are eating right alongside the station with the Tony's Pizza. And then there was the scene where you go past the laundromat where there's a guard playing an arcade game. And there was a part where you get stuck at a pedestrian crossing. So all of those three things I recognized in this mod that were from the original. The order seemed a little out of place. Like I said, with the reusing the conversation about it's a whole wonder this facility hasn't blah blah blah. That was a little bit earlier than I think it was supposed to, but I think it was a much more creative use of that dialogue or that thought process. And I think it did a better job of showing that the facility has a lot of problems, because you would expect with doors that are ID dependent that issues would come up just kind of on their own. Maybe your badge is smudged, or I don't know, you dropped your badge and you had to get a new one and the new one wasn't calibrated correctly, that sort of thing. The other few notes I wrote down was that the load time was pretty bad, and that I think is unavoidable. The load times in Black Mesa are bad, and I think that's just a result of pushing the Source engine a little too hard. It may also be that my computer isn't the best. I think I have a pretty good computer. It's good. It's not amazing. Maybe there's something I could change to get faster load times, but I think that's just sort of unavoidable. And the The way the screen blurs a little bit is also kind of annoying. I liked how Half-Life 1 did it better, where there was just that yellow text saying loading, and the screen wouldn't blur. The screen would freeze, so you wouldn't move for a second or two, but it somehow felt more realistic than the loading system in Half-Life 2, where it blurs for a second. I also thought the voice actor for Otis was not very good. You may have struggled to recognize Otis because he doesn't look as recognizable as he does in Blue Shift proper, where he's very overweight and has a very distinct accent, and carries I think he's carrying the Desert Eagle instead of the regular handgun. But you would only notice that if he's armed, and I don't think he was armed in the intro. He was holding a clipboard. I thought that like I said, the voice actor, maybe they weren't trying to match Otis's accent. Like I said, I don't think this is meant to be a verbatim reproduction, because there were already lots of changes that weren't in the original. But I don't know, Otis seems to be somewhat iconic. Just in my opinion, he seems to be a very memorable character. How many of Barney's lines do you remember versus I'll just stay here and die, or and here I am drawing a blank on some of Otis's lines, but they're much more humorous, and if I had a decent memory, memorable than the regular security guard. So I think that's enough blabbering for now. You're probably not even listening or watching this because you were only here for the intro. So like I said earlier, I'm just going to shut up and both of us can move on with our day. Actually, I wanted to add something because I've felt like I said a few too many negative things about the mod, and I don't want to come off as a person who's just complaining. I was more looking for, this is the good start, here are things that you might want to change. Everything else was sort of like, keep doing that, you're doing well. Like the load time is kind of unavoidable. Maybe the voice actor was just a placeholder, since that was probably more about getting the textures and the environment built correctly than getting that one person voiced correctly, because I think all the other people used pre-existing dialogue, which is perfectly acceptable even in the final release, because that's just kind of, the nature of Half-Life is you recycle a lot of content. So I don't want to come off as a complainer who thinks, this thing was terrible because one guy had mediocre voice acting and there were long load times. I just wanted to point those out as things that stood out to me. And I guess I just want to repeat that I thought this was excellent for a first release. I think they only started talking about this a few weeks ago, and it only came back to my mind a couple of days ago. Hence me being in their Discord, being a little more in the know than the average and the virgin Half-Life player. I'm definitely not the Chad Half-Life enthusiast that I think I am, but I like to think I am.